life, it's full of trade-offs. If you want to excel in business, there is simply no shortcut. Talk about this all the time in JT in the Raw. It is hard work, and you have to put quality hours in to work your strategic plans, your operations. What we forget though is that it doesn't mean, with all that hard work, that we need to sacrifice anything, anyone, or everything else. I know that in order to be successful in business, you need an amazing support network. And that support comes from the obvious stakeholder, your team. It's important you've got their support. But way more important than your team's support, and way before that team's support kicks in, is your family and your friends. You need to ensure your family and friends are enablers to your success and not detractors. And this simply occurs through your own actions. Good morning, Frosty. Good morning, Amanda Stevens. Good morning, Brett. Good evening, Mike, over there in the USA. Hope you all are doing well. This week on JT in the Raw, I want to focus on cheap, small, and yet impactful actions that show your family you still care about them so that they continue to support you on your leadership or your entrepreneurial journey. In fact, today I'm going to give you nine tips that you could start from today, from next week. And at the end of the show, I'm going to give you a little challenge where I'm going to ask you to commit to one of them. Welcome everybody to JT in the Raw, where I chew the thin on business. And after 30 years in business, I have just a few thins to chew. And today's show is inspired by a couple of clients that I spoke to this week about how many extra hours they've had to work over the Christmas break. In January, another client having to work some extra hours because of the horrendous weather conditions we've had here in Sydney in Australia, and staff not being able to work, and that the balance between work and the family has been a bit skew-if. I've also been inspired this week to do some research and reading around this, simply because what I understand is that we as entrepreneurs, we as leaders, are almost blinkered in our vision to drive forward with business. And yet sometimes we just forget that support mechanism behind us. Now, in show 170, JT in the Raw show 170, I talked about the massive power of surprising and delighting your customer. Now, this was a super popular show because it basically talked about lead generation, it talked about client acquisition, it talked about sales, and it talked about retaining those clients by surprising and delighting them. If you missed that show, but running that same principle is, can we surprise and can we delight our family and our friends? And you betcha you can. You betcha you can. And these ideas are designed, that I'm going to share with you, all 9 of them, to surprise and delight family and friends. Number one. Hope you're sitting on the edge of your seats, got your pens ready. One family dinner a week. Now, I actually got this idea from a guy I used to coach rugby with. And he and his wife used to ensure that every Sunday night was a family dinner. Now, the 3 boys they had, those 3 boys could bring their girlfriends, they could bring their friends, they could bring whoever they liked, but they had to be home for dinner on that Sunday night. So I guess this concept is committing to one meal a week where, under any normal circumstances, the whole family can have a meal together. As I say, kids can bring their friends, but they must be home for dinner. Now, you have to not only be physically present, but you've got to be at that dinner with your heart and your soul. You've got to be engaging, you've got to be commenting, and you've got to ensure the whole family really understand that they still are the center of your world. Now, perhaps you might also consider, because it's tough sometimes during the week to get home before the kids get to sleep, or maybe before they're having dinner. So why don't you try also switching it to breakfast? Just sitting down with your family for 10 minutes, sharing a cup of coffee, can be quality time where you can just show that you care if you focus on them over that 10-minute period. So number one is to have one family dinner a week. If you like that idea, hit me up with a love heart right now. Morning, Jacques. Morning, Troy. How are you guys? Great having you on board early this morning. Number two, leave post-it notes in random places or on the mirror. Now, I don't remember where I heard this, but I do know I loved it. I love this idea of writing a little note and hiding it in the kids' lunchbox. Love it. Or maybe posting a sticky note on a mirror, hiding notes in bags or random places around the house. So if you leave the house, as an example, before everybody gets up, before people are off to work, or even if you don't and you want to sneak around, why not leave a couple of sticky notes on mirrors around the place? You don't have to overthink what you're going to write. Just a short note from the heart. Because it's not about the amount that you write, it's the impact. Now, here's a little hint. If you want to cheat, just write 5 or 6 of them at one go, keep them stored, and then go and pop them up at different times. I don't really like that idea because I like the impetuousness of being, is that a word? Impetuousness? Impetuity? Anyway, I like the idea of just writing stuff at any time. Now, my weakness with this is I don't do it consistently. But when I think of it, I'll write something, stick it on a note, and put it in Zoe's lunchbox. And she opens it when she's at school, gets totally embarrassed in front of her friends, but she does know I'm thinking of her. So if you like this idea, number 2, of leaving post-it notes in random places around the house, give me a love heart right now, just to show that you care. Remember, it's not how much you say, it's what you say in that note. Number 3, interesting one. Send some random text messages to people, your friends, your family. This week, I got a random text message from somebody from the fitness industry. I think I just saw her on board this morning, Amanda. And that meant so much, just a random text message to say that she was thinking of me about a certain matter that I'm going through and discussing with some people. So I really appreciated that. And sometimes those random messages, those unexpected ones, are the ones that mean the most. So, whether it's between meetings, just send a quick text message. We talk about this a lot on Are You OK Day with our friends, just checking in to make sure they're all right. But these random messages to friends and family can just show that you're thinking of them at different times. Don't overthink them. Just say what's on your mind and just tell them what you're thinking about them. Number 4, this is a big one for me. I love this one, and I'm so grateful for the world that we now live in, that we have the ability to use FaceTime, Zoom, or some other video app in order to contact our family and friends. So there you go. That's number 4. Try using a video app, FaceTime, Zoom, to send your message, because the power of your family and friends actually seeing you will be a powerful connection tool. You don't always need a reason to call people. You don't always need to say something. Just seeing people will connect you. For example, what about a quick little video message when the kids are doing their homework? Or to say goodnight? Or to say in the morning, have a great day at school if you've left? That quick FaceTime call or that quick Zoom call, that video, that visual connection is a very powerful connecting tool. Far more powerful than just audio. Visual and audio, that's the duck's nuts. That's what I'd be doing. Number 5, set aside no device time so that you can be truly present. Here's an interesting one. Set aside no device time. This is my challenge. I struggle with this. Absolutely, I really struggle with this because devices are a killer of quality time. And if you really want to be focused, if you really want to be present for your family, turn your device off. Worst case scenario, flip it over. Had a conversation with Matt Fletcher from the Personal Trainers Roundtable last week, and he was saying now in every meeting he flips that phone over because, as Simon Sinek says, if that phone is not flipped over and you see it go off and you look at it, you show disrespect to the person in front of you. That's a great business tip, but it's also a great tip for us in communicating and connecting with our family and our friends. So, what I want you to be thinking about is really truly connecting with our family. Get rid of that device. Get rid of the device. And it's not just you, it's your whole family. It's your whole family putting the iPad away, the computer away, the device away. And surely we can do that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even at that family dinner that I mentioned as point number 1. Number 6, work side by side with your family. Try working side by side. Now, this is an interesting one because this happened to me just the other day because I still need to do work. Zoe came home from school and she had her homework. So I took my computer out with her. She had her homework book set up. I had my computer set up. So I was working, she was doing her homework, and we kind of bounced off each other to stay focused for 45 minutes on the tasks that we were doing. It was really cool to help her with her homework. She was going, well, what are you doing? And I was telling her about what I was doing. And so she was adding her 2 cents worth or $2 worth in her mind. And it was great. It was really quite a bonding experience. So consider that you actually work side by side with your family member as you're doing stuff. Number 7, take the family on a business trip. Now, just because you've got to travel for work doesn't mean the family can't join you. I know that Amanda Stevens was watching earlier, and I see her take her little boy all over the country with her when she's doing presentations. And I love that fact. Later this year, I'm going to Singapore to a conference. Hopefully, I'm still going to go to Singapore for a conference, and I'm taking the family with me to Singapore. Last month, I had some work in Newcastle, so I took the family with me to Newcastle. Now, while that might mean you need to forego some dinners or some networking opportunities, during the day, it does allow you to spend a little bit more time with the family at night, and that's an amazing trade-off for your business and your family. Not to mention, it's a wonderful tax deduction for your family holiday. So if you like the idea of taking the family with you, give me a love heart right now. All right, what are we up to? That would be number 7. Number 8, leave video messages. So we talked about communicating with people through Zoom or through FaceTime and having that video conversation. But what about surprising and delighting your family with a video message? Instead of just simple voicemail message or a text message, leave a video message to them. Now, a couple of years ago, in fact, back in 2015, I was flying to the States. And when I arrived, there was a text message or text video message from, can't be a text video message, there was a video message from Zoe giving me a little message. Now, it literally broke my heart, and I still keep it on my phone. It is still on my phone. If you want to see that message, put 2015 in the comments below, and I'll share the little photo, the video with you. But it really broke my heart. But it meant so much to me. And so that really comes back to saying, why don't we send some video messages? Instead of texting our family or our friends, just send them a video message saying that you're thinking about them. Okay, last but not least is number 9, ask interesting questions to your family and friends. Surprise and delight your family and friends by asking a really interesting question. Again, I heard this idea around trying to build relationships with your family, build relationships with your kids. OMG, Chris Stevenson is in the house. G'day, Chris. How are you, mate? Hope you are doing well. Emma Barry is in the house. What about those two power brokers joining JT in the Raw? Chris and Emma, good morning. Oh, good afternoon over there in the States. Okay, as I was saying, ask interesting questions. Heard this idea around trying to build relationships with our kids, and that is that the questions we ask our kids are generally one-word answers. We need to be able to get more from our kids. We need to get more from our family, and we need to get more from our friends. So this could be used, this concept, family, friends, even team members, but that's not the focus of today's show. We want to dump those standard boring questions like, how was your day? How are you? Try asking questions that spark greater thinking. Try asking questions to get a deeper answer. Maybe, what's one thing that really surprised you today at school or at work with your other friends? What really surprised you today? Or what was the most interesting person you met today? What did you learn today? How did you help someone today? By asking these questions, it leads to a conversation as opposed to a statement. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a big one, surprising and delighting our friends and our family by showing how much we care by asking these interesting questions. That is number 11. If you like number 11, give me a love heart right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned in to JTinTheRaw Show 185. Our family and friends are a powerful source of support and inspiration. When times are tough, we are going to turn to our family and friends. So you can never, ever underestimate the depth of that support, the power of that support. So we need to ensure that no matter where we are on our leadership or on our entrepreneurial or on our business development journey, we foster that support from our family and our friends. So today I've given you 9 tips that could help you and will cost you nothing. 9 tips. Here they are again. 1 family dinner a week. No matter how old the kids are, no matter where the kids are, they come home and they have a family dinner a week. Number 2, leave post-it notes on the mirror or random places around the house. Send random text messages. Use FaceTime, use Zoom or some other video app to have a live video call with your family or friends. Set aside no device time so you can be truly present in the conversations with family and friends. Try working side by side with the family. Do your homework together. Take the family on a business trip. Leave video messages or ask interesting questions. Instead of the standard boring ones, let's ask an interesting question that becomes a conversation starter. Now, right at the beginning of the show, I said to you, I'm going to give you a challenge. And the challenge is this: whether you're watching live or on replay, whether you've just joined me now live or whether you're coming back watching this at a later stage. Here is the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to commit to doing one of those 9 things in the next 7 days. One of those 9 things in the next 7 days. And that commitment starts right now by putting in the comments the number 1 through 9 that you are going to do with either your family or your friends. The choice is yours. What will you do this week, ladies and gentlemen, to surprise and delight your family? Thanks for tuning in to JT in the Raw. Now, if you know anybody that might get some benefit out of watching this show, I would be really grateful if you would tag them in the comments below. All you have to do is put their name in the comments below. They can come back and watch the show at their own time. I'd be super grateful if you would share the show, whether you hit the share button or just tag people in the comments below. Really appreciate it. I really love getting this particular message out to as many people as I possibly can, because it's important to me about surprising and delighting your greatest supporters. Now, of course, I did say right up front, show 170, I talked about surprising and delighting your customers. 170, I'll send you the link so you can go back and watch that show. on surprising and delighting your customers. Today's show, though, has been about surprising and delighting family and friends, and we always finish with Quote of the Week. Quote of the Week. Through our actions, ensure our family and friends are enablers to our success. Ensure our family and friends are enablers to our success through our own actions. One more time. Through our own actions, through what we do, ensure our family and friends are enablers to our success. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned to JTinTheRaw. We're on the same time every single week, same time, same bat channel right here on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the flip side.